Shalom. 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 Shalom, Ahaba Baraka. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakadash. I want to get right into it today. This class is called it's a breakdown of a verse in the book of Job. So we're going to go to Job in chapter 15. And I'm going to call this class the Job 15 and verse 6 full breakdown. So Job chapter 15 and verse 6. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thy own lips testify against thee. So let's get into it. All of you wicked ass camp leaders, today's your lucky day. We're going to break down some scriptures according to the Bible to see what's going on with you guys, because I don't believe that you guys are being righteous. Now there's a few, no, not every camp can be unrighteous. Now I know that GMS is, they're bringing out the 100% truth. They're righteous. Other than that, I really haven't seen much. So let's get right into it. Let's go to the book of 2 Peter's. You know we got to go into 2 Peter's. And 2 Peter chapter 2, and we're going to start from the top. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teacher among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Yahweh that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. So let's go back over to Job again really quick. And what did it say in Job? It said, thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thy own lips testify against thee. There will be false prophets among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily, who secretly shall bring damnable heresies. What are the damnable heresies? Well, when we really get into it, a perfect example of a damnable heresy would be to tell somebody that, like when ISUPK, for example, they said that Chris Rock should commit adultery with Will Smith's wife, Jada, whatever. He should also give her drugs for revenge sake. Now, we all know that, well, let's do it like this. Revenge belongs to the Lord. What chapter and verse? So we know in Romans 12 and 19, that's what it says right there. Romans, like I said, 12 and 19, because he said, take revenge. He said, give her drugs. He said, commit adultery. So first, let's go in on revenge. It's Romans 12 and 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith Yahweh. So, okay, he was definitely wrong there. He was definitely wrong there. And let's keep going. Let's keep going. Because I'm going to jump over to the book of Titus. Before I want to stay on track here. Let's just go over to the book of Titus. Oops, it's right here. And we're going to start at verse 10. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. What did I just tell you? Get revenge. Give her drugs. What are drugs? Drugs are witchcraft. So you want to get revenge, which belongs to Yahweh. You want to give her drugs, which are witchcraft. What else? Oh yeah, that's right. Adultery, which is another broken. So you want to literally break 3 direct commands. And this is what this is talking about. There are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. So here we go. All this boils down to money. They are doing all of this for money. And you know what? Let's look up the word subvert. I got one, like I said, I have a really old dictionary, so it's kind of fun to look up words from a dictionary of this age. Because they sometimes I've noticed they have different definitions than the updated dictionaries. Where is it? Subvert. To overthrow or destroy. So, whose mouths, what does it say? Verse 11. So Titus, verse 11 of Titus chapter 1 and verse 11. Whose mouths must be stopped. Who destroy whole houses. Teaching things which ought not. Wait a second. Speaking of teaching things which ought not, one body, you said if Yahushua did any miracles, it was witchcraft. You said Moses didn't split the Red Sea. You said that Jonah wasn't eaten by a great fish. It never said, well, I didn't see anywhere in the Bible that it said, well, it said it was a great fish. So I'm just trying to figure out, they just decided that the only fish that they knew of was really big was a whale, so they just put that into place. But anyway, let's read it again. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, who destroy whole houses, teaching things which ought not for filthy lucre's sake. So, how about IUIC? They said Cornelius was not of an Israelite descent. But now, they're teaching that Cornelius is of an Israelite descent. IUIC. They taught that there was going to be no Jacob's trouble. You unlearned morons! You didn't listen to what I said. Well, I watched a whole shitload of classes. And yeah, you directly said that there's not going to be a Jacob's trouble. But he was trying to... I ain't going to try and explain what you're saying because you know you were wrong. You know you were wrong. Your mouth has to be stopped. Your mouth has to be stopped. You know what? Let's jump over to... In fact, since we're talking about Nathaniel, let's go backwards a little bit. We're still in the book of Titus, but we're going to go to verse 7. Titus chapter 1 and verse 7. Because the only bishop I know in all of the Israel camps is Nathaniel. So maybe he should have taken this little tiny verse to heart. Titus 1 and 7. For a bishop must be blameless as the steward of Yahweh. Remember how negative and disrespectful you say his name? You're supposed to be a steward of Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Not self-will, doing whatever you want, what you think is lined up. Shiny is perfectly, super perfectly lined. I ain't never seen such a good haircut. Good job. Good job. You showed us how to do it correctly, right? You showed us how to round the corners of our head and mar our beard. Thank you for that. For a bishop must be blameless as the steward of Yahweh, not self-willed, not soon angry. You morons, you ungodly fools. You didn't listen to what I was saying. You got to have the art of listening. All the crap that you're talking. For a bishop must be blameless as the steward of God, not self-willed, not soon angry, not given to wine, no striker, not given to filthy lucre. What do? You do this for money. You do this for money. You went from $1 dollar store glasses to $1,000 Gucci frames. Big giant gold chains on your neck with big giant ephods. Coming in like damn Super Bowl, the way you were calling out the way they were calling you guys out to come down, and all the whole entire situation was just a whole blasphemy. When you look at it, it's like you guys are literally the people, and I don't want to get into that. We already know that you're the ones that want to be at the front of the synagogues, want to have the best garments. Well, you win. You want other men to see you? That's your reward. You got it. You won. You get your reward. What is that? Matthew 6 and 9? Anyway. Or Matthew 6, 1 through 9. Somewhere in there. Let's get back to this, though. Micah 3 and 11. Micah chapter 3. And we're going to go straight to verse 11. And do a little jumping around. We're going to jump around a little bit, okay? The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet they will lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. Well, of course you're going to say that. You got the garments, you got the book. You actually know the book. And Nathaniel used to be a great teacher, and you can see right when he took that 501c3. But all of these camps, though, all of these camps do this. Every time I see a Sakari live chat, it's Top Chat who donated the most money. But then they got Patreon, they got PayPal, they got Cash App, and they got GoFundMe. I mean, there's so many avenues that you can donate to them from. You got to ask yourself, are they doing this for money? Is this a money thing? How about ISUPK? ISUPK, IUIC, they openly took a 501c3. So, and if anybody's ever read up on a 501c3, you can't exactly teach this word. That's why they have to keep changing the doctrine. That's why they're not allowed to say his name. That's why they're telling you to take the V. If I gotta travel, if I want to travel, I gotta, do certain things to be able to travel. He said that. He said that. But you know what? This is all for money. They do this for money. I just showed you how many different forms of different avenues of donation Sakari has. I mean, IUIC has the Booster Club. They'll tell you to donate in the middle of their damn Passover celebration. Pop up with the phone number and all the ways you can donate and everything right there across the bottom of the screen like a news update. Let's go to Matthew. Let's see. Let's see what the Most High says. Let's see what Matthew, the book of Matthew says. Let's see what the book of Matthew says about this. We're going to go to the book of Matthew. And we're going to go to chapter 6. And, let's see what Yahushua has to say about this. Let's see what Yahushua has to say about all your Cash Apps and your GoFundMes and your Booster Clubs and donate so we can keep this going. Matthew 6 and 24. And this is Yahushua speaking. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Yahweh and Mammon. Lucre and Mammon are the same thing. They're money. You can't serve the Most High and serve money. But you guys have figured out a way to do that. That's why your mouths must be stopped. Those are damnable heresies. Let's go to Luke. Chapter 16 and verse 11. This is also Yahushua speaking. If therefore ye have not been faithful in unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust in true riches? So, therefore, if you have not been faithful in unrighteous mammon, so if you couldn't hold wicked ass money without having a problem, how are you gonna commit your trust to the true riches, to what we're really supposed to get? This place is a garbage bag. We're in the inside of a fucking hot, smoldering garbage bag filled with shit and dead, rotten fish. That's where we're at. It's stinky, it's smelly. Everything about this place is wrong, and people love it. They love being in the swamp. They don't want to go out and wash off and be clean. It's just crazy. But, you know what? Let's go back to the book of Micah. Let's go back over to Micah. Let's go to 3, and we're going to go backwards a little bit, because I started at 11. Let's jump backwards to 9. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment. You guys hate the law and pervert all equity. So what is equity? It means fairness and uprightness. You pervert all fairness and uprightness. You guys tweak the word to try and make it seem like you came out with a new doctrine. You figured it out. You got it all figured out. We got this. And listen to what I'm saying, because it's just like in the scriptures where it says, no, God is over here. No, he's over there. No, he's over here. He's not in any of those places. None of you guys. He ain't dealing with none of you guys. Now, I know he's dealing with certain prophets, elders, disciples that are going to be the future apostles. So I know he's dealing with people. It's just not you guys. Now, there's a lot of men in other camps, and I'm not going to lie, the Great Millstone, they don't take money. I've never seen them taking anything. I don't see them with a logo, a banner, an emblem, a symbol. This is their banner. This is their emblem. This is their symbol. It's the scriptures. That's what everybody should be like. I'm just using them as an example because they are doing it right. Why not? I'm not a part of GMS. I'm glad to just be able to study with people that actually know the truth. I don't even want to be a part of GMS. Why should I? I still get to study with them. What makes a difference whether I'm a part of the camp or not? At least they have the truth, and I can confirm my truth through the elders. That I know I'm doing the right thing, and if I'm confounded on something, I can go to them and say, oh, wait, I was correct in that. Let me go ahead and jot that down, and those precepts are right. Let me jot that down. But you guys are all filled with damnable heresies. You pervert all uprightness, all fairness. Let's go to Isaiah 29. And we're going to start at verse Isaiah 29, and I really want to start at verse 13. Let's start at 13. No. Let's hold off on that. I'll come back to that. I'm pretty sure I got a precept for that. No, let's read it. Forget it. Let's read it. Isaiah, we're going to start at 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouths, with their lips, do honor me, but have removed their hearts far from me, and their fear towards me is taught by the precepts of men. You guys are teaching your own doctrine. Let me keep going. Wherefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people. Indeed, the word even is an old English word that means indeed. A marvelous work and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent shall be hid. You guys are going to lose it. See, you guys started off, and then some of you might be like Nathaniel's a perfect example, because you can see where he was teaching sincerely 100% truth, teaching Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai to such a sincere breakdown, I wanted to take notes. Now listen to him. Yeah, he's possessed by a demon. Let me see. Shall I keep going? Shall I keep going? Shall I keep going? Yeah, let's keep going. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Oh, you 501c3s better watch out. I'm telling you right now, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. And for shall the work say, for shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say to him that framed it, he had no understanding? Let me keep going. Is it not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and a fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest? And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. So, since you crooked-ass leaders won't teach the truth but know the truth, you're going down. In fact, this is happening right now. People are starting to open their eyes and see that you guys are liars. They're starting to hear, the deaf ears are starting to hear that you guys are liars. You lie. That 501c3 is going to come back and bite you in the ass. And I'm dead serious about that. Let's go back to Titus. That's what this is about, too. You guys get that 501c3, you do anything they tell you to, it seems like. Let's go back to Titus. Let's start at 10 again. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. So you guys should know what all that means now. You know that lucre is money. You know that subvert means to destroy. You know that, let me keep going. One of them, even is an old English word that means indeed. One of them, indeed a prophet of their own, said that the Cretians are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. Slow bellies. So, one of themselves, even a prophet of their own people are going to turn on them. And you know what? That's another perfect example. You can go to IUIC ex-members, and one of their own will tell you that they're liars. Their own people. And it goes with all the camps, actually. All of these One Body, IUIC, ISUPK, HOI, I mean, Sakari, you can keep going and going. They're all liars. Evil beasts and slow bellies. Okay, so a slow belly means to be fat and lazy. Fat and lazy. So let's keep going. This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply that they may be sound in the faith. Well, we got to realize, you know, I hear the word rebuke a lot, but do you guys actually know what the word rebuke means? To rebuke them sharply. Well, let me show you. Because the rebuke sharply, it means to cut, a scolding, to address in a sharp and severe disapproval. Okay? Okay? So when you're rebuked, somebody's addressing you with severe disapproval. Now, let's see what the Levitical law says. Because you know we got to go to the Levitical law for this one. To make sure that when you rebuke somebody, that's actual, you're still keeping the commandments here. Let's see what it says. Let's go to Leviticus, I think it's 19, and I have it written down. I have it written down here somewhere. 19 and 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke. Thou shalt in any wise, thou shalt in any wise cut, scold, address in a sharp and severe disapproval. So thou shalt in any wise address in a severe disapproval or rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So let me just read it right through. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So to rebuke somebody is to pretty much be showing them love. Because if you're going to take time to tell somebody that they're wrong about something, then it says right here that thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. And how do you not show hate for your brother? By rebuking your neighbor. And that way he doesn't get caught up in sin. So you camp leaders, this rebuke is out of love. There's no way all of you intelligent elders are getting this stuff wrong on accident. You're not. You're doing this on purpose. And you're playing dumb with the scriptures. And it's going to get you caught up. And we all know it. We all know it. Let's go back to Titus. Verse 14. This is Titus chapter 1. We're going to go to verse 14. Not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. So, let me start at 13 to give it a little more context. This witness is true, whereof rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. What is a Jewish fable? Let's just go with the word fable. Jewish means to act like a Jew. So if I called you childish, I would say that you're acting like a child. But clearly if somebody called me childish, I got a great giant beard on my face. I am clearly not a child. But if someone says I'm being childish, they're saying I'm acting like a child. So when you say Jewish fables, it means they're acting like a Jew. What does fable mean though? They're acting like a Jew. To speak falsely or lie, a short or a story that is not true. Falsehood. Jewish fable. A Jewish lie. So the people that are acting like Jews, don't believe the people that are acting like Jews with all of their, that speak falsely and they tell lies and they tell stories that are not true. They have a falsehood about them. So, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men. Stop making up stuff. Just go with what the scriptures say. It's basic. And turn from the truth. That's what you do when you bring out the commandments of the men. You turn everybody from the truth. Let's go to Matthew chapter 15. Matthew chapter 15, verse starting at 7. Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draw nigh unto me with their mouths, and do honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching the doctrines and commandments of men. They are making up their own shit. And then they're weaving it back into the scriptures, and you are believing them. You got to watch out for all of these false doctrines and all of these wicked camp leaders that all they have to do is repent and tell the truth, and everything will be fine. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 29, and we're going to go back to 13 again. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouths and with their lips, do honor me but have removed their hearts far from me, and their fear towards me is taught by the precepts of men. Their fear towards me is taught by the commandments of men. So right here, but this is Matthew 15 and 9. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. They're making up their own stuff. That's what the commandments of men are. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai gave us the book. Let's keep going. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 30. And we're going to start at verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me. That cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. 501c3 camps. That, like I said before, it's going to bite you right in your ass too. Let's jump up to verse 12. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise the word, and you trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon, you old 501c3 going to bite you in your ass. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. You guys are going to be done, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. It's just going to hit you like a lightning bolt out of nowhere. Let's keep going. Let's go to Psalms chapter 64. And we're going to start from the top. Psalm chapter 64, starting from the top. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, for the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Insurrection means a rising up against the establishment, authority, rebellion, or to revolt. So, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the rising up of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, indeed, or even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. So, it just makes me think about when here's a perfect example. When Nathaniel goes, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. And he says it all mean, all scornful, all hateful. And the funny thing about it is, suddenly they shoot at him and fear not. He is not scared. He literally taught you the name and then told you not to say it, and that can't be determined. So there's another place where he changed the doctrine. Also, he just changes doctrine on a regular basis. He wavereth like the waves of the ocean. He's all over the place. All right, let's keep going. Psalm 64. Let's go back into Psalm. Verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see me? So they lay traps secretly, saying, who shall see them? They search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. These guys, hold on, let me, before I go overboard here, let me read one more. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So, oh man, this is so crazy. But you'll be out there pushing your wickedness and your false doctrine, and then you'll be doing it for a certain amount of time. Even with the Edomites, they can only go a certain amount before the Most High shuts them down. He never lets them accomplish anything. He says, you'll build up, but I will throw down. Well, it goes the same for you wicked-ass Israelite camp leaders. You're going to be out there teaching and preaching and doing what you think is right according to your own precepts of men. And out of the blue, you're going to get that wound. Let me read it again. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. And you guys remember Nathaniel was going off, making all this stuff up, and calling everybody morons and everything. You know why? He got so sick he almost died. That's why when he showed up at his crazy ass Passover that looked like a damn sporting event, the Romans, the Roman Coliseum Super Bowl, I don't know what it was, but one of the elders said that he looked like they were dressed like Romans. And as I was looking, I was like, yeah, you know what? They look just like the Romans. It reminded me of the movie 300. But anyway, let me keep going. So they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. They shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. Job 15:6. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee. You're going to fall on your own mouth. Why? Because you guys, you can't lie on this word and continue forward. It just doesn't even make sense that you think you would be able to do that. Let's go to Proverbs, though. Let's get some precepts on that. Let's get some precepts, because I really like that verse. Let me read that again. So they shall make their own tongues fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And then I showed you in Job, this class is called Job 15:6, complete breakdown. So let's go to Proverbs 18 and 7. A fool's mouth is his destruction. You've fallen on your own lips. Big ass lips. And his lips are the trap of his soul. Falling on them big ass lips got you trapped. Every time you open your mouth, it's a trap. And you know what you're destroying? You're trapping your own soul into darkness. Complete and utter outer darkness. And you won't be able to, you can go a certain time, but there's going to be a point where the Most High is going to be like, no, man, I'm done with you. All of you camp leaders that are wicked. Not all you camp leaders that are righteous, that are doing what you're supposed to. All you wicked camp leaders that want that good attention, trying to get out there and get that good attention. So, Proverbs 12, starting at verse 13. A talebearer revealeth secrets. Whoops, that's 11. That's 11. You know, I might as well read it. I might as well read it. A talebearer telleth secrets. He that is of faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Where no counsel is, the people fall. But the multitude of counselors, there is safety. So, when you have a false teacher, he's going to make you fail at everything. But when you have a multitude of teachers and they're all saying the same thing and they're teaching that same doctrine for ever since you can remember, and it's never changed, it's never been altered, you've never had to see them backstep, well, those are the guys that are in the truth. Those are the guys, you can search that for yourself and find out who's in the truth just from that statement alone. Who hasn't changed and who has? And who is the Most High standing with? He never told us to go dressing up like Roman kings. He said that this is a captivity. Sackcloth. We're not supposed to be out there like that. I know we're not. We're not. We're slaves to this society, but we're trying to dress like we run the society. It's just a weird thing for me. But anyway, let's go to Proverbs 12, and I wanted to start at verse 13. The wicked is snared by transgression of his lips. Your big ass lips are your trap, like I told you before. In fact, let me go back to it. Proverbs 18 and 7. A fool's mouth is his destruction. His lips are the snare of his soul. So your big ass lips are trapping you because you keep opening your mouth. Now, let's go back to Proverbs 12 and starting at 13. The wicked is a snare by the transgression of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. A man shall be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth. So when you're telling the truth, you'll be satisfied with good. And the recompense of the man's hands shall be rendered unto him. So the fruit of your labor is going to create blessings when you're speaking the truth. But the fruit of your labor is going to create curses on you when you're speaking lies. And no matter what, you're going to have to pay the piper. You're going to have to pay. Let's jump over to Matthew chapter 10. And we're going to go to verse 22. And ye shall be, this is what I want to show you guys right here. Let's go back to Proverbs 12 and 13. A wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. Right? The wicked, every time they open their mouth, it's transgression, it's lies. Let's go back to 18 and 7 again. The lips of the wise the lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but he of the foolish doeth not so. So, that's Proverbs. I'm going to go to 18 and 7. Sorry about that, guys. That's still good. He's not going to do what he's supposed to. In fact, yeah. The wise disperse knowledge. We go to the law, statutes, and commandments. We go precept upon precept. We stay inside of the Bible. We don't change the words of the Bible. We don't change anything to benefit ourselves. We keep with the truth. But but the heart of the foolish doeth not so. You're going to do whatever you want. Now, let me go back to 18 and 7. A foolish man's mouth is his destruction. His lips are a snare of his soul. So, a foolish man's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. Now, how do you know if you're speaking the truth? Because it shows you in Isaiah 30 and 9, this is a rebellious children, lying people that will not hear the law of Yahweh, and say to the seer, see not, to the prophets, prophesy not unto us to right things, speak unto us smooth things, tell us lies, prophesy deceits. So how do we know when the prophet is telling the truth? And this is very interesting, because Nathaniel has, he's got to have about 50 to 100,000 members in his camp, right? That's a broad gate. And these other camps got so many members and so many people. But let me show you guys something. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 22. And ye shall be hated of men for my name's sake, but he that endureth till the end shall be saved. If you're bringing out the truth, most people are going to be coming after you. If you're bringing out lies, we definitely coming after you, for sure. But when you're bringing out the truth, you ain't going to have no friends. I don't got no friends. You don't see nobody reading for me. You don't see nobody nothing. Because I bring this truth out. When that camera isn't rolling, I'm the exact same person. I'm bringing out the exact same precepts, and I'm telling every single person I see that I get into a conversation with about this word. It never changes. But most people won't come around me. Why? Because I'm hated for his name's sake. I'm hated for his name's sake. And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. I explained to somebody just yesterday, explaining to them about the Israelites and how we're like a speckled bird for the sake for the lack of words. We're like the speckled bird, right? And the first thing she said after I was finished going off, all nations, we look like this, we can look like that, up here, down there. She goes, so you're one of them black Hebrew Israelites. It was an insult. Because the word black means destitute of light or to be evil. So when someone calls you a black Hebrew Israelite, they're calling you an evil Hebrew Israelite. An Israelite that's destitute of the light. But they're okay. They're all good. So, let me just get back to it. Let's go back to Matthew 10 and 22 and get back on track. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth till the end shall be saved. So, if you're doing the works, most people ain't going to want to deal with you, because I've noticed that what the biggest reason why these wicked camp leaders lie and the people love the lie, because when they hear the truth and they have to accept the truth and then they have to follow the instructions. That's why they're always telling you, no man, no, Christians. They're like, no man, close the Bible. Let's just have a conversation about the Bible. They don't want you to be able to show them where they're wrong, because they know they're wrong subconsciously. They don't even want to see it. They're saying to the seer, see not. Remember, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us deceits, prophesy deceits. We want to hear lies. It's horrible out there these days. Let's go to Mark. So we know that we're going to be hated for his name's sake if we're bringing out the truth. But what does Mark say? Because I could have swore Alazar said, I don't care what Mark says. Or maybe it was the deacon, I don't know. I don't care what Mark says. Well, let's see what Mark says. Because I just showed you what Matthew says. Matthew said that you're going to be hated for his name's sake. Let's see what Mark says about it. Oh, wait. This is in red. This must be Yahushua speaking. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. So Mark and Matthew are saying the exact same thing. You bringing out this truth, not many people are going to like you. You're not going to have a big following. But so when you see these false prophets out there with hundreds of thousands of followers and all this money, when the Most High never told us to have any of that. He said, bring out the word and prophesy the end. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to have money either, because, you know, the Most High does whatever he wants. He can bless who he wants. He can curse who he wants. And if he wants to give you $100 bazillion, that's between you and the Most High. Just as long as, let me just keep going. Before I get too far into that, let's go back to the book of Titus. Chapter 1 and verse 15. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving nothing is pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. Oh, you know I got a precept for that. Romans 8 and 5. I almost don't even have to look it up, but I'm going to read it just to make sure so I don't mess up. Romans 8 and 5. For he that is after the flesh do mind things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, things of the Spirit. So, in other words, if you're about this world, you're going to do worldly stuff. And the end result, you're going to see worldliness attached to what you're calling righteousness. And those that are after the Spirit, they're going to be spiritually minded. They're going to be keeping the laws, the statutes within the laws, and the direct commands to the best of their ability according to their knowledge. But let's go back to the book of Titus. And read 15 again. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind is mind and conscience is defiled. So because you love the world so much, even when you are trying to bring out the word, it's always getting destroyed. That's why we call you false doctrine. That's why we say you're changing the words. That's why we say you're going by the precepts of men. But let's go ahead and get to Titus 1 and 16. They profess that they know Yahweh, but in works deny him. You guys say that you love Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, but in your works, you're saying Moses didn't split the Red Sea. You're saying that if Yahweh Shai did any miracles, it was witchcraft. ISUPK, you guys are, oh man. Oh man. In your works, you want to talk about denying him? Let me read this again. Let me read this whole thing through before I bring up ISUPK. They profess that they know God, or Yahweh, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good works reprobate. Reprobate means bound for destruction. Everything you do is done towards a destruction. So all your works are bound for destruction. You're not keeping the laws, statutes within the laws. You're lying to people. You're being wicked. You're doing everything for money. But let's talk about ISUPK. Because they profess they know Yahweh. But in their works, they'll tell you, don't follow the law. No. Commit adultery. Drugs, which are witchcraft. Do witchcraft. Commit adultery. And take revenge. Take revenge? Wait a second. Wait a second. Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 7. It said, take revenge. He said, take revenge. You have to take revenge or you're not a man. The book of Mark, chapter 7, verses, we'll start at verse 6. So chapter 7, start at verse 6. And he answered and said unto them, book of Mark, chapter 7, starting at verse 6. Well, hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, the people honoreth me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Howbeit in vain they do worship me, teaching the doctrines and commandments of men. Okay? Let me keep going. Howbeit in vain they do worship me, teaching the doctrines and commandments of men. Let's go back to Titus. They profess that they know me, but in works they deny me, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. So what do? They teach the doctrines and commandments of men. They make stuff up. You got to take revenge against that. That goes against. Wait. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. I could have swore I had. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. (33) and we're going to start at 31. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear my words, but they will not do them. For with their mouths they show much love, but their hearts go after their covetousness. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but do them not. Verse 33, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. So, all of your falseness, all of your lies, teaching the flock to run them astray, in the end of all this, when it all comes to pass, the real prophets that have been teaching you and telling you to watch out for this stuff, stay away from these camps, stop going after what you can see with your eyes, go with what the Spirit has for you. You're just always wanting, oh, look how big and great this camp is, or look at what they're doing, this, that, and th. They're not doing much. It says to go out in pairs. It doesn't say to go out 50, 500 people. It says to go out 2 at a time and teach this word. But let's go back into it. Let's go to back to the book of Micah, chapter 3. And yep, let's read it. Let's read it. Micah 3, 5 through 7. Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, peace, and he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. They indeed prepare war against him. Therefore, night shall be unto you that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you that ye should not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. So then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners be confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, their big ass lips, opening their mouth, telling all them lies, for there is no answer of Yahweh. See, the problem is that what it's saying here is that he's going to take away your ability completely to break down this word. And you can see him chipping away at these camp leaders because their doctrine keeps getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, in the last 3 weeks, I feel like I've seen it all. I've seen it all. And honestly, I don't even know what else to say anymore. I know one thing. It says that Where was it? Where was it? My word does not change. My word does not change. What chapter and verse? So, let's see. There's a few. We'll just go with. Let's go with right here, sorry. Here it is. I want to close it out with this, guys. I want to close it out right here with this. Hebrews 13, starting at verse 7. This one, I'm going to close out here. Starting at, let's start at 7. Remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of Yahweh, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation. Remember this, verse 8. Remember this, for all of you righteous students and humble servants. Remember this, Yahushua, the same yesterday and today and forever. He ain't changing. He's not going to change. And if you've seen me, you've seen my Father. So his Father ain't changing either. In fact, that's in... all right, yeah. Let's go back to it. Where was I? I was at 13 and 7. Remember them which have the rule over you, who've spoken unto you the word of Yahweh, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation. Yahushua, the same yesterday and today and forever. So be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. The meat that you guys are serving people, it's no good. In fact, let's go. This is where I'm going to close out. I said I was going to close out over, I'm closing out right here. This is what I was looking for in the first place. Revelation 22 and 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these words, add unto these things, Yahweh shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of this book, of this prophecy, Yahweh shall take away his part out of the book of life. You will not be in the kingdom. And out of the holy city, which is the kingdom, and from the things which are written in this book. You're going to be taken out. Like I told you over here in Hebrews 13 and 8. Yahushai, the same yesterday and today and forever. So for all of my sincere and righteous listeners that also study these scriptures, Revelation 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. So remember that. Watch out for these false prophets. The scriptures can't be compromised for self-gain or for glory of men. All praise and honor and glory belongs specifically to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And like I said, Revelation 22 and 14. Revelation 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city. And with that being said, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope you were able to get something out of this message. Most High willing. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach Kadash. Shalom.